Well, hello and welcome to Fun Fantasy FPL. My name is Harry, and we're going to do a little special mini podcast this week, additional to the main event later on this week, on the assistant manager chip. Brand new to the game, mystery chip for a long time. And this was recorded with our guest last week, Josh Bull, who won FPL in the 1920 season. So if you're watching this, prepare to watch me suddenly change. But if you're listening, please enjoy, give us a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you to our amazing, wonderful producer that is Rita, even though I overtook her on fantasy this week.
So should we quickly do the assistant manager chip then? So for those who don't know, sort of a quick summary, you basically get an extra quote unquote player, but it's a manager of any Premier League team. You do have to use budget from your existing squad. So if you're a team that has no spare cash going around, that you can't use this chip ever basically. The prices range from 1.5 million to Arteta, Maresca, Slot, etc., etc. They're all 1.5. Then it goes to 1.1 and 0.8 and 0.5. I don't know why. 0.5 are the managers in the relegation zone and around there, etc. But what's interesting about it, and it's funny actually, Barry, we were saying at the beginning of the season in terms of, Josh sort of highlighting that you need obsession, sort of maths, but like how do you sort of make it fun for the casual? This basically offers you that. So you get 6 points if your team wins. So if you had Guardiola against Ipswich, you would have got 6 points for that. However, if they are 5 places below you and they win, so basically, let's say Southampton beat Liverpool. Obviously, that's quite a big gap, and it doesn't need to be that high, but nevertheless, you would get just 6 points for them winning, plus an extra 10 points. If they hold them to a draw, you would get just 3 points for a draw. Let's say, you had Liverpool, you just get 3 points, but if you get Southampton, they held to a draw, you get 13 points. If you had Jurich as your assistant manager, basically, it's 3 game weeks consecutively. So once you play it, you have to do that. You can't. I believe you can't use it. You can't wildcard during that period. You can't bench boost or triple captain. All the chips are out of play. But basically, this sort of, I mean, I don't know if you guys would agree. You have two approaches, really. I would say either you just go for Slot or maybe Arsenal or Arteta. Guardiola, even if you think they've started doing their latest run, just go obvious, get the 18 points for the wins. You also get a point for every goal they score as well. So if they're playing leaky defenses. So the Ipswich you would have got 12 points if you had Guardiola, for example. Or sorry, Josh, I know it was just a recent
Another
game.
dig.
I do apologize.
Daggers to my heart.
Yeah. Or you obviously go for somebody who's lower. You go for, I mean, if you really want to, I'll let Josh explain his McKenna shout for this season. But if Ipswich win 3 games, there's a high likelihood they're going to be above them. And if it happens to be 5 above them, you can get, what's that? 16 times 3, 48 points. And that doesn't include the goals or anything like that either. So that's basically how it works. What are you guys thinking? How are you? And the other thing we can talk about is when to play it.
Yeah.
Because you've got to remember you can't use another chip. So if you are using it now and you want to wildcard, you can't do that. You can't use it for a double. Well, you can use it for a double game week if you want to. Is it more powerful than a bench boost or triple captain during a double game week? That's up for debate. But we can talk about. Let's talk about first of all, I guess, quickly where you're leaning towards in terms of who would you be targeting, a lower manager or a higher manager? Josh, do you wanna go first?
Yeah, for me, the points that you get for beating someone 5 above you are a big benefit from it.
Yeah.
So I think you want to be looking down the table, but you want to be looking at teams who are maybe underperforming and have the chance to
Oh,
to win those
Josh,
games.
you and I have the
I'm
same
not.
manager idea, don't we? I think
I'm.
we do.
I'm not going to say McKenna. I probably will
I
play
wasn't
on
going to say
McKenna.
McKenna either. I was going to say
Who were
Big
you going to say?
Ange.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Spurs are 15th. Surely
Yeah.
they're not going to finish the season 15th.
Yeah, and we'll beat someone like United or no, I was going to say United. That's not a big team anymore.
Only two
We,
of
we'll
them.
beat we'll beat someone like I don't even know.
Liverpool. Oh,
I don't see us beating anyone actually, to be honest. But
you can beat
maybe
City and Liverpool. Easy.
we do like showing up to the big games. So maybe we beat City at home.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, just interrupted you. So you're looking lower down the table.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Oh,
no, I'm 100% on board with Big Ange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so the two that are standing out for me at the minute is Spurs and United. Um,
Mm.
I think that they are like they should both be doing better than they are, and
Mm.
chances are they will be by the end of the season. So you want to pick them and in a run where they're playing teams who are above them but are beatable, which is, most of the teams above them.
Yeah.
Like it, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Spurs can beat anyone in the table, right? So, obviously it's not beyond the realm of possibility that McKenna's Ipswich can do that, but you'd maybe think it's more likely that Spurs have got a shout.
Yeah.
But you still get those same points.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go on,
My
Harry.
question was, because you essentially you're not getting added budget for this, right? So
No.
my concern is that, like when Saka comes back from injury, I'm gonna want Saka, Palmer, and Salah, which isn't gonna leave me a great deal of room budget wise.
Mm.
So I think I'll probably be forced to go for cheap managers in general. Um, there's been a lot of chat about, playing it in the double game week that's coming up with Liverpool, just getting slotted and then someone cheap, just because you have more games. But much like my goalkeeper strategy, I just don't like investing more money in the place that is more likely to concede you points, right? And that's why I don't go for the expensive goalkeeper strategy and I get the cheap ones and rotate them. Um, but I don't think I'd go. Maybe I don't, Ange, but my heart
But
gets broken once a week anyway. I can't be on two different
yeah.
things.
But in terms of, when you should use it for the double game week, I mean, again, Charles, the mathematician here, can correct me. But if you triple captain somebody, you're hoping they're going to get, what, at least 10 points? You're probably
Yeah.
hoping for more, right? So if you triple captain that gets you an extra 10. Liverpool, if they win one more game, that's an extra 6. So, I mean, obviously triple captain is less likely. A triple captain is likely to come off than just Liverpool winning, obviously. But that doesn't seem to make sense to me. And then a double game week, again, if you bench boost there, so let's just say let's say you have 3 bench boosted players, none of them do anything, they're still going to get 4 points each. So that's 12. I mean, Josh, again, I will let the Oxford PhD say otherwise, but surely mathematically it doesn't make sense to use this for a double game week. You get much better chance of maximizing returns with bench boost or the triple captain, unless you're thinking about going lower down the table.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be triple captain in a double game week. I'll be bench boost in a double game week. If there's one left where I can do my
Mm,
lovely assistant manager, great. But I don't think, as you say, it's not going to be maximizing the value of those weeks, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I looked through the fixtures. So in terms of, so I did look. So annoyingly, in terms of you're looking for the best 3 wins, annoyingly Wolves have the best fixtures. So no one has the trifecta of Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton, but Wolves do at one point. So if you think Wolves are going to win all those 3 games, they do have that at one point, I think. I think they also have, oh, sorry, they have Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich. So, I mean, that's pretty
Yeah,
close.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I think if you're going to get Wolves in, you don't want one where they're
Yeah, I would
playing
agree with
Ipswich,
that.
Leicester, Southampton. You want one where they're playing, whoever's 5, 6, and 7 points above them.
Mm.
Yeah. But I think the problem is that Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, none of them have like, I mean, I guess you could say for them a Fulham is a relatively straightforward assessment. But like in terms of like, can you guarantee 3 wins from any of the big teams? I personally didn't see like, okay, I can say with like 90% certainty they're going to win all 3 of those games. There's a spanner in the work. They have a Bournemouth away or a Newcastle away in between 2 easy fixtures, for example. So I think also for that alone, it's probably not worth looking at the big boys either because I don't see a guaranteed 18 points. Others may disagree with me, but I personally didn't see it from the fixtures.
So I think probably the best conclusion you can make then is to get a manager in who's at a mid-table club, for example, but has a decent team, work ethic, and goal scoring record against some of the bigger teams. So a team like Fulham. So I've
I
just noticed
understand.
here they've got in game week 28, they've got Brighton at home, Tottenham at home, and Arsenal away. Looks
Yeah.
like a really difficult fixture run, but they definitely can beat Brighton. They can definitely beat us. And Arsenal away, they have an okay record at as well. So that would get you a lot more points. You know, than having maybe like a Pep Guardiola at the end of the season where he's going to get three wins, right?
Yeah, Margaret
Um,
was my other shout because, I mean, Barry, as you know, but Josh, your context, my opinion of Fulham is that none of the players actually care about Fulham Football Club whatsoever. They just care about leaving. So they underperform when they're playing bad teams.
Yeah.
And then when they're playing for a team that they want to buy them, so in Arsenal, Liverpool, they work their socks off and play really well. So they will beat teams above them quite comfortably. The problem is, though, with Fulham is, so, okay, so if you're going for lower down the leagues, let's be frank, you're hoping they win all three. So that means they get 9 points. If Spurs win their next game, they immediately jump to 11th, which means all of a sudden Fulham, Brighton, Villa, and Bournemouth become less than 5 places with them. So that's the thing with the timing. If you go towards the end of the season, there's a decent chance that that team, like, okay, even if they're winning, there might be a bit of a gap. Let's say the team is 6 points from the next position. They're probably going to be 7 from that one, etc. So you're more guaranteed that they're going to play five. They're going to play 5 above every week. That's sort of the other issue. Because if Spurs win their next 3 games, they'll be around 11th or something like that. So they sort of jump at the table quite quickly. So that's another thing to think about. The problem is if you play it at the end of the season is you run into a lot of beach teams. But again, Ipswich actually, funnily enough, I think they have the best run in on the beach wise from memory.
they do have a really good run in, yeah. Ipswich and
Oh, actually, no,
Leicester.
they have Brentford, Leicester, West Ham. West Ham are probably safe by then. Oh, but Leicester, that's going to be a very tight game. Brentford don't tend to be on the beach that much as a team. They're pretty good at
You know,
that.
I can picture by the time we play Leicester, I can picture I was going to say at least one of the teams. I can picture hopefully Leicester being on the beach, knowing that they're not going to make it out of the relegation zone.
Yeah. So Wolves is the other team. So Wolves have Brighton, Palace, Brentford, who I don't think Brighton will be in European places by then. Palace will have been on the beach for the last 10 weeks. I know I said Frank's, we've heard him, he's quite good at getting them to the end, but nevertheless, there is. The only problem is, will Wolves be even more on the beach than them? So if you sort of want them still to be scrapping to the last day, which they might not be by then. So that's the risk in waiting as well. Because if Wolves are just comfortably 15th, then those games just become completely pointless.
Comfortably 18th, I think was what you meant to say there.
Well, that's good for the chip then. You want Wolves. Yeah, if Wolves are in the relegation zone those last 3 games, then that looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Because so they've got a good attacking team. They can't defend, but they've got players who can score. And as I said, Palace and Brighton aren't going to be trying in those games. But Brentford probably won't be either. Let's be frank. So that could
Yeah.
be quite interesting.
I mean, I think I'm leaning towards playing at the end of the season, the last 3 games. I think like probably my strategy will be triple captain 24, probably Salah, wildcard 30 or wildcard 31 maybe, and then looking for the free hits and bench boosts and things into the double game mix towards the end of the season. Obviously, I'll be glued to Ben Crellin's Twitter account when he tells me when all the double game weeks are and fixtures and stuff. That will probably determine when those things are. And then, yeah.
Because one thing to remember that we've not said, unless I've completely misunderstood this, but I think we can transfer the manager, right?
Yeah.
And this is in a season where transfers are much more abundant than they ever have been previously.
Yeah, good point.
And certainly if you're planning on playing it towards the end of the season, there's no reason why you can't roll up a ton of transfers and be using them to shuffle the manager around for whatever you think the best best match of the week is.
That's interesting. So actually, you're right. I've been looking for 3 fixtures, but quite a few teams have Arsenal and Liverpool. But I think it was Bournemouth and I think it was Fulham. Maybe they had Arsenal, Liverpool, then they had like Southampton or Leicester. But you're right. Actually, you could just target those 2 fixtures and then do what you want after. That's very good. A few other teams had Arsenal, Liverpool back to back as well. So if you think they're a team that like Fulham, for example, who could. It's not completely illogical that they would win both those games. It's not, but still, that might be risk for taking, and then go for whoever really. We go for the Southampton manager as a 1 week punt. Maybe that lines up well, because they're guaranteed to be playing a team 5 places above them, or nearly guaranteed anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you like, you can go in the last 3 weeks and go for sort of Man City and then swap over to Everton and then swap over to Arsenal, and you get to play Southampton every week.
Yeah, wow. So that's guaranteed 6 points, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, because Southampton will be done by then. So yeah, I mean,
And you get a point for every goal as well. So yeah, 6-0, 7-0, 8. Yeah, that's another way of doing it.
well, I think Josh, you cracked it. Definitely setting my strategy up for that. Um, cool. I mean, yeah, I think we covered quite a lot. I mean, I'm still getting my head about strategy for like where I'm going to go with the other chips. To be honest, I think that probably largely determine how we play it. But Rita might want to play her assistant manager in the double game week because I think, yeah, I mean, when I'd spoken about it with her before, she seemed to be quite interested in playing that in a double game week rather than uh, anywhere else. So she's currently doing better than both of us, Josh, just for context on this. Um, she's, I think, 170,000th at the moment, having Stormer, has kept Haaland. So maybe that's the secret. I don't know.
So if she played, so was it game week? Oh, no, I was about to say.
24 because I mean I looked at it and I said, oh, Arsenal got quite a good run, so you could set and forget and just get it out of the way and get it done.
Well, I thought you meant Everton because Everton obviously have Liverpool, but then they have Leicester below them, Palace who are at 5 places, and then the Man U again who won't be 5 above them. So, or you just go slot, I suppose. But again, I think as Rita's
Yeah,
beating me, so she obviously knows best. But
yeah. I mean, you could do that. I mean, Southampton have got Ipswich, Bournemouth. I mean, I'm Bournemouth, it's a good team, but like, that's there's definitely some interesting fixtures in there. I think in that from that game week 24, and you could start not with Arteta. Sorry, I meant to say Slot, and you could just have Slot the entire time because he's probably going to win those games. So yeah, but all will be revealed, I think, probably as we go ahead. But yeah, I'm just seeing how it'll piece in with my overall strategy. But overall, I think it's a really cool chip for them to bring in. It's really interesting. I think how people use it in this season will be really interesting for the kind of the content creators around this and how it works. And I think for us, we'll just play it and hope, right?
I mean, I'm going to be going for Big Ange, so yeah, I'm going to follow my manager.
Yeah, I
I'm going to follow
honestly, man, no. No, we've got zero chance. I mean, we've got Liverpool at the end of either first week of Feb, and I think we'll be putting out a youth team, but we just don't have players. We've got no defenders. Everyone's injured.
You have Spence. Don't forget Spence.
Dominic Solanke is now injured. Just to add to it, right? What are we doing? Did you see that Spurs have advertised a chief doctor or something recently as a job position because they just yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Well, I hope you found that useful. Definitely great to have someone on the pod that knows a bit more about fantasy football than we do. But thank Josh for his insight into the assistant manager chip. I'm not sure when I'm going to play it personally, but it's definitely something to think about. Let us know, what are your plans for it? Are you going to play it this week coming up with the double game week? I've seen a lot of people play it quite early, or are you looking to, future weeks? So yeah, once again, we've been Fun Fantasy FPL. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and thank you to our wonderful and amazing producer, that is Rita, who without we could not make anything at all. So yeah, good luck with your game week, and hope we've been helpful.